Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Barbie's Diary. My name is Barbara Omodudu, and I film about family, career, lifestyle, all things relocation, settling in a new city in Canada. I reside with my family in Edmonton, Alberta. Once I whip up all of my receipts, trust me that the video is about to be lit. So I want you to pause now. If you have not subscribed, please do so now, so you don't forget to do so. And please ensure to like, ensure you share, ensure you turn on your post notification. I know you might not want to travel, but if you have that friend, that brother, that sister that wants to travel, this is the channel for them. I try so much to share useful content about all of the steps we've been taking to settle in a new city. We've been here for 6 months plus, and it's been a beautiful journey so far. So this is one of the important things you need to do, especially if you have children or if you're coming in with children, and if you know that you need a daycare. I did a video about daycares. Please go back and watch that video. The OGs on the channel know. I have a 5-year-old son and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Today, we'll be talking about childcare subsidy and Canada Child Benefits, so CCB and CCS. Please do not mind if I take a look at the notes I have made, or if I'm taking a look at all of the documents I have here, just so that I ensure that I am not forgetting or leaving anything out. Okay, so let's start with childcare subsidy. For childcare subsidy, this is the amount that the government pays to the licensed program that you will be participating in for your child. So let me break it down for you. If you have children between the ages of 0 and grade 6, so between the ages of, say, 0 and 12 years old, who would be in a licensed facility-based program like a daycare, like out of school, like preschool, or who will be in a family day home by a licensed family day home agency, or if you have group family childcare centers, you are eligible for the childcare subsidy. The subsidy rate is based on, so the rate the government is going to pay is based on the child's age, the family income, the program itself, so any of the 3 programs I mentioned, and the numbers of hours per month that the child will be in daycare. So that would determine the subsidy rate you will get. Please remember that this money doesn't come to you. It goes directly to the program. It doesn't come to you at all. And if there's a balance to be paid, then you have to pay out of pocket for that balance. How do you apply for the child care subsidy? So you apply online. The fastest way to apply for this program is online. So you fill a form and then you go through all of that. Before I forget as well, if your child attends two or more of these programs, the child care subsidy would be split between these programs. Okay, if you know that you want your child to go to daycare, then you need to first of all ensure that you're accepted at the daycare, because you'll be requested to put in information about the daycare. So I mean, if the daycare has not given their go ahead, if you put in their information and you get approved, the payment will be made to them. But rather than have that kind of untidy documentation, it would be nice that you first get approval from a daycare of choice that you want to attend to, ensure that they have space for you, and then also let them know that you are going immediately to apply for your childcare subsidy, so that the payment will be made directly to the daycare. Once you get that sorted, once you've gotten a daycare of choice that has space for your child, then you begin your process. Please do that as quickly as possible. There are a bunch of things you would submit initially. You'll send it via mail. I'll put the email address of where you'll be sending that here. So when you send to them, they would verify, they would determine your eligibility, they will verify, and then they would get back to you with what we call a conditional approval notice. For us, we submitted our application in November, if I remember. Guys, you need to keep calling them, you need to keep following up with them. You need to be sure that they have gotten it and that they are working on it, and they will send you a conditional approval. Because if, for instance, you do not get the conditional approval before you start the daycare, the daycare might be nice to say, okay, keep on attending. When government approves your subsidy, you pay us the difference, or we collect all the monies from government. Or they might say, you know what, we don't know if government is going to approve your subsidy, so please keep paying. you pay the full amount. When government approves your subsidy, they can use that to offset future months for you. However, if you already have the conditional approval, they would work with that, and you will just be only be you will only be required to pay whatever is the difference. They might just give you all of these conditions that may not be appealing to you. Like for us, the school was kind enough. We started attending even before the government approved the subsidy. We just showed them that we had made an application and we're waiting for their approval. Once they get the conditional approval, they are kind of relaxed, like, okay, government has reviewed your file and they can determine that you are eligible for this. So, like I said, we applied in November and they did not get back to us until second week in January. Of course, the holidays and all of that contributed. So they send you a conditional approval notice for 2 months. There are a number of documents you have to submit. If you do not submit within that time, then they would let go of your application. You have to start afresh, knowing fully well that this might take another 3 months. So you don't want to be that person. So ensure that you are gathering all of these documents. Now that you're watching this video, take a pen and paper or save this video so you can watch later. There are a number of documents you have to gather and submit within the 2 months time frame they have given to you, so that they also can go ahead to work on it and give you an approval for another 10 months. But we'll get to that. So for this conditional approval, they will tell you that this conditional 2 months approval is meant to help you cover childcare costs while we finish assessing your application. Subsidy is per child. They will tell you the maximum subsidy that will be paid per month for that child. They will tell you how much it is, the subsidy date time, which is when you first applied. So we applied in November, and so the subsidy start date was November 7th, which is when we applied. And then they gave us that 2 months. The conditional is for 2 months. The conditional approval is for 2 months. So we got this letter January 9th. So they gave us 2 months ending February 28th, 2023 to get all of our documents ready and submit to them for a final approval. It's not about submitting within 2 months. So you have to calculate in such a way that you submit as quickly as possible, so that even their verification time would also be done within that 2 months. Because once they care, at the end of the conditional approval, they will start disturbing you again. You don't want that disturbance. So ensure that you are submitting as quickly as possible and you are also getting the approval within that 2 months timeline that you've been given. So that if your subsidy is not approved by the government during this 2 months period, you will need to pay whatever subsidy the government had already paid during this conditional approval. You will need to pay that back to the government. Okay, but if it's approved, then you just go on from there. You're going to send the document either by email or by fax or by mail. So by mail, I mean by post. Either way, but the fastest way is via email. So what are the documents that would be required of you? Recall that I mentioned that our own subsidy end date for the conditional approval was February 28th, and we received the request January. By 19th of January, which was just 10 days after, we had gathered all the documents and we scanned them and sent it via email to the address I'll be leaving on the screen right now. Okay, so what were the documents we sent? We sent proof of identification for every member of the family. So for my husband, for myself, as well as for the kids. The documents you can use to prove your identification would be your health card, the government issued health card, the government issued driver's license, government ID, birth certificate, your international passport, your PR card, and a host of other documents. We used our PR card. You can also use your COPR. So we used our PR card and that was accepted. So for applicants, you have to send a proof of residency. So you can either use the health card. The health card doesn't have the address on it, but you can use that as a proof of residency. You can use your driver's license if you have that. You can use your rental agreement, your mortgage agreement, your rent receipt, bank statements that include an Alberta address, all of that. We use driver's license. So I use my Alberta driver's license as proof of Alberta residency. And then there's a CRA consent form. that you have to write your name, sign, and date and send along with that. We feel that it comes with all of these documents will come with the conditional approval that you get. Well, the consent form is just to, give the government the consent to retrieve your information from the Canada Revenue Agency. Okay, so your tax information from Canada Revenue Agency. We did that. You also have to a proof of subsidy qualifying income. So it comes with an income sheet. Yes. And with the income sheet, you also have to attach your income, your verified income, say your pay stubs, RRSP withdrawal statement. The income sheet, they will also provide that to you as well. And then if you have, changes to your situation along the line, you need to inform them. Say you change your address or the change in family structure, say marital status, for instance, or you might not be requiring care again. Do not go to that daycare anymore. You go to a new one. You need to inform the government as well. If there's a change in hours of childcare required, you need to inform the government as well. Or if you do not reside in Alberta anymore, say you change your province, you need to inform the government as well. If there's a decrease in your income that will impact your subsidy benefits, recall I said this is based on your family income, you need to also inform the government as well. So those are all the stuff you need to inform the government about. So you have the income sheet as well, that you fill the income for yourself as the applicant and then the co-applicant as well. What was the income for that year? You have to fill that in. What type of income it was? Is it employment income? There are different kinds of income. They gave an entire page to explain the kind of income, the definition, and what you can submit for that kind of income. So all of that is pretty detailed. You can go through it and be guided on what to do. So after the conditional approval, then you have to wait again. So like I said, we submitted online January 19th, and we had the conditional approval was ending on the 28th of February 2023. So we kept on calling, we kept on following up. We'll give the applicant's ID to the customer service. They would, tell us where the application was at the time. And we just kept on monitoring the progress because we were so conscious of ensuring that before the end of the timeline, we have gotten our approval so that we could show the school and so that we would just be rest assured that we're covered for the next couple of months. By February 23rd of this year, we got the notice of approval, and in that notice it's stated that, of course, conditional approval was ending 28th of February, so it stated that we have been approved, we have been assessed and approved, and it showed us the start date, which was now March 1st, and it was going to last for 10 months. So recall that is a 1-year program. We had gotten 2 months in conditional approval initially. What they just gave us, the notice of approval, was for the remaining 10 months. And so they told us when the subsidy was starting, which would be March 1st, and that would take us for a 10-month period to almost the last quarter of the year. And of course, it just gave us the same program. We had not changed program. Then it just told us again that if we have any change in our circumstance, like I earlier mentioned, we need to inform childcare subsidy. And that was it. Like I mentioned, the first thing would be to get a daycare's commitment before you start applying. Try to apply as quickly as possible so that you don't have to pay all of the money. You just have to pay a fraction of it, and government takes care of the subsidy. Anything to save money is highly welcome. Government usually gives the parents 4 months in which to get a job. If you do not get a job, then you can as well keep your child at home and start taking care of them, right? But so if you have questions for me, let me know. There are other information that I believe that you can just go through on the website and get other details. Let's go to childcare benefits. This is the benefit the government pays to you for your child. So it's just the benefits that you have because you have a child. So obviously this will not apply if you do not have a child yet.